Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
This time,
Really excited for this one.
yeah, this one I'm really excited about this one too because uh, it's it's kind of like a feel-good news segment,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
but from all around the world. So we've got stories about kindness from all different cultures and continents.
Yeah. And it's like a tapestry, of all these different acts of kindness.
It
And I'm
is.
so curious what patterns we'll find.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Um, I guess maybe to just jump right into it.
Yeah.
One of the ones that really stuck out to me was this bus driver in Buenos Aires,
Oh, yeah.
and traffic is just crazy. He's on his route, and he sees this elderly woman trying to cross the street and just stops the bus
Wow.
right there in the middle of traffic.
Just to help.
Yeah, helps him cross the street and, like, ignores everyone honking at him.
That's amazing.
But the thing is, it went, like, super viral, this video.
Yeah.
So what do you think it is about that, made it resonate with so many people?
I think it's just like a small act of kindness in this world where sometimes things feel so chaotic.
Yeah.
So it's a reminder that we can still choose compassion.
Absolutely.
And it's just like a feel-good moment.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, even though it's small, it kind of gives you that feeling like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
maybe there's hope for humanity.
Right.
Right. Um, but it's not just about these individual acts like that. We also saw some stories about like these larger initiatives.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this thing called the global food chain?
Yes.
So it started as just like a post on X.
Wow.
But now there are all these chefs from all over the world that are like cooking and sharing meals with the homeless.
That's incredible.
And they're using food as like this bridge to build community,
Exactly.
which I think is really cool.
Yeah, it's more than just sustenance. It's like creating a sense of belonging.
Right. Like you belong here.
Exactly.
We're going to share this meal together.
Yeah.
Um, Another one that I thought was really interesting was this silent concert that happened in Berlin.
Oh, wow.
And it was designed specifically for the deaf community.
That's so cool.
So, you can experience the music through like vibrations,
Oh, wow.
visual art, all these different things to make it inclusive.
It's amazing how they thought about that,
Yeah.
that's real inclusion.
And the response online was incredible. Like Music for All was trending.
Yeah, people are really resonating with that.
So it shows that people really care about this idea of making sure everyone feels welcome and valued.
Yeah, it's about kindness and thoughtfulness.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And speaking of creating spaces, did you see the story about the makeshift library?
The one in Nairobi.
Yeah, and the Nairobi slum.
Yes, made from recycled materials.
Yeah.
Just to give kids access to education.
It really is like the resourcefulness and the dedication of these students just blows me away.
It's inspiring.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was this heartwarming story about a pen pal program
Oh, yeah.
in Canada, and it connects senior citizens with students through letter writing.
I love that.
In our digital world,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a lost art.
It is.
But to get a handwritten letter,
It's special.
it's so special.
So thoughtful.
And especially, for seniors who might be experiencing loneliness or isolation,
Yeah.
those letters can be really, really meaningful.
A lifeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see these intergenerational bridges being built through letters.
It's beautiful.
It is. All right, so we've talked about individual acts.
Yeah.
We've talked about organized initiatives. But now I kind of want to switch gears and talk about collective action
Okay.
and the power of community.
Yeah.
So there was this one story from Mumbai after a big festival. And I mean, you can picture it, the streets are just covered in trash and debris. But then, like, all these strangers just start coming together spontaneously
Wow.
to clean it up.
That's amazing.
What do you think drives that kind of collective action?
I think there's like a sense of shared responsibility. Like,
Yeah.
this is our community.
Our home.
We need to take care of it.
Exactly.
And it's inspiring to see people coming together like that.
And, of course, the images and videos of that went viral
Of course.
with the hashtag Mumbai Cleanup,
Yeah.
and it inspired other communities to do the same thing.
That's what I love about social media. Sometimes it can really
Spread good.
spread good and bring people together.
And that shows that we don't always need, like, a structured plan
Right.
or an organization to make a difference.
Mm.
Sometimes it's just about a shared sense of responsibility.
It's about taking action.
And speaking of collective action that transcends borders,
Oh, yeah.
there's this story of the Community Forest Project in Brazil,
Amazing.
where a whole community came together to plant trees to combat deforestation.
It's powerful to see people taking ownership of their environment like that.
It is, and I love that they put a plaque on each tree
Oh, really?
with the planter's name.
Wow.
So it's like a living, breathing testament to their efforts.
That's beautiful.
It is a All right, now let's move on to another really important facet of kindness. The power of empowering others through knowledge and skills.
Yes.
And there was this incredible story about a Syrian refugee
Oh, yeah.
in Germany
I remember this one.
who started teaching English to newcomers
Wow.
at community centers and parks.
So he's using his own experience to help others?
He is.
That's incredible.
It's really amazing.
It speaks volumes about resilience and the human spirit.
And his story really resonated online
Oh, I bet.
under refugee education.
Wow. So inspiring.
Yeah. And speaking of empowerment, there's also this really amazing story from Japan
Okay.
where this tech company is offering free coding classes
Wow.
to underprivileged youth.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So they're teaching them not just technical skills,
Right.
but also essential life skills.
Preparing them for the future.
Exactly. And it's just great to see a company using its resources to address the digital divide.
Absolutely. It's a real act of kindness.
It is. And it ties in, with all those other stories we were talking about with creating spaces and opportunities.
Yeah, creating access to knowledge and resources.
Exactly. Now I want to shift gears a bit and talk about some of the more creative and innovative ways people are expressing kindness.
Oh, I love those stories.
Yeah, me too. And the first one that came to mind was the mural in New York City that's dedicated to mental health awareness.
Oh, yeah. I saw pictures of that online. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And it's in a really busy part of the city, so it's like this powerful visual statement,
Yeah, it's making a statement.
inviting people to reflect on mental well-being.
Right.
And the hashtag mental health mural really helped to amplify that message.
Yeah, it's encouraging people to talk about these issues.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that kindness can be about creating spaces for vulnerability
Absolutely.
and connection.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, remember that silent concert in Berlin we talked about?
The one for the deaf community.
Yeah, that's another great example of how creativity and innovation can be used to foster inclusivity.
They really thought outside the box with that one.
Yeah, they didn't just adapt an existing concert. They created this whole new sensory experience.
Yeah.
And speaking of inclusivity, I know we touched on this briefly, but the story about the Pen Pal program connecting seniors with students
Oh, yeah.
through letter writing, it just really stuck with me.
Me too.
What are your thoughts on how this simple act of letter writing can foster connection?
I think it's about slowing down,
Yeah.
taking the time to actually handwrite something.
In this fast-paced world.
Yeah. It's so different from just sending a quick text or email.
Yeah, and for seniors who might not be comfortable with all the technology,
Right.
it gives them a way to connect with the younger generation
Yeah, it bridges that gap.
and share their stories.
It's beautiful.
It is. And it brings us back to that core theme, of bridging gaps and fostering connection,
It does.
whether it's through food or music or art or letters.
Yeah.
All these acts of kindness are like these invisible threads that connect us all.
It's like a tapestry of human connection,
It really is.
woven together by kindness.
So we've explored stories of bridging gaps,
Yeah.
creative expression,
Empowerment,
empowerment,
collective action.
collective action, each one painting a picture of the different sides of kindness.
Yeah. It's amazing how diverse these stories are.
Yeah. But before we wrap up, I'd love to hear your take on why these stories are so compelling to us.
Yeah.
Why is it that when we witness an act of kindness, it just resonates so deeply?
I think it's because deep down,
Yeah.
we're all wired for connection and compassion.
Yeah.
These stories remind us that even though the world can be a tough place, there's
Yeah.
still so much good happening
Yeah.
all around us.
And that we all have the power
Exactly.
to make a difference.
You can all choose kindness.
Yeah. So we would love for you to share your own stories of kindness.
Yeah.
With us, use the hashtag #HeartbeatKindness and tell us about acts of kindness you've witnessed.
Or participated in.
Yeah, let's keep this ripple effect going.
Absolutely. And remember, kindness doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It can be something small.
Everyday things.
Yeah, like holding the door open for someone
Yeah.
or giving a genuine compliment.
Or just listening to a friend who needs to talk.
Exactly.
Those little things can make a big difference.
They can brighten someone's day.
And it's important to remember to be kind to ourselves, too.
Oh, that's so important.
Self-compassion is key.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. So be kind to yourself.
Yes.
Practice self-care.
And then spread that kindness outward.
I love that this deep dive into this tapestry of kindness from around the world has been truly inspiring.
It has.
From these little heartwarming individual acts to these global initiatives,
Yeah,
we've seen the incredible power of human connection
absolutely.
and how even the smallest gestures can make a positive impact.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So as we wrap up this episode, let's leave our listeners with a challenge.
Okay, I like it.
What act of kindness will you commit to this week?
I love that challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about giving people the tools they need to succeed.
Exactly.
That's kindness too.
Now I want to kind of shift gears a bit and talk about some of the creative and innovative ways people are expressing kindness.
Oh yeah, those are my favorites.
Yeah. And the first one that popped into my head was that mural in New York City dedicated to mental health awareness.
Oh yeah.
Did you see pictures of that?
Yeah, it's stunning. And it's so powerful to see something like that in such a public space.
It's in such a busy area.
Yeah.
So it's really like a statement.
Yeah.
And it's starting conversations.
Exactly. And destigmatizing these issues.
Right. And that hashtag mental health mural, I think really helped to spread that message even further.
Yeah. It's encouraging people to talk about it. Yeah.
And it's a reminder that kindness can be about creating spaces for vulnerability.
Absolutely.
And connection.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, remember the silent concert in Berlin we talked about?
Yeah, the one for the deaf community.
Such a great example of how creativity and innovation can be used to foster inclusivity.
Yeah. It's not just adapting something that already exists.
Right.
It's creating something completely new.
And speaking of inclusivity, I know we touched on this a little bit before, but the story about the Pen Pal program, connecting seniors with students through letter writing.
Oh, yeah. I love that one.
It just really stuck with me.
Me too.
What do you think it is about that simple act of letter writing that can foster such strong connections?
I think in our world today, we're so used to instant gratification.
Yeah. Everything is so fast.
Exactly. So to sit down and take the time to handwrite a letter.
Yeah.
It's so personal.
It shows you really care.
Exactly. And for seniors who might not be as comfortable with technology, it's a way for them to connect with the younger generation.
Yeah, it bridges that gap.
And they get to share their stories and experiences.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is. And it brings us back to that theme of bridging gaps.
Yeah.
Fostering connection.
Whether it's through food or music or art or letters.
Yeah.
It's all about those invisible threads that tie us together.
It's a tapestry of human connection.
Woven together by kindness.
So
we've explored stories of bridging gaps, creative expression, empowerment, and collective action.
Yeah.
And each one has shown us a different facet of kindness.
It's amazing how multifaceted it is.
But before we wrap up, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on what makes these stories so compelling.
Okay.
What is it about witnessing acts of kindness that resonates so deeply with us as humans?
I think it's because at our core, we're all wired for connection.
Yeah.
And compassion.
We want to be good.
We do. And these stories remind us that even in a world that can feel divided and chaotic, there's still so much good out there.
Yeah, there's still hope.
Exactly. And it reminds us that we all have the power to make a difference.
Absolutely. And even small acts of kindness can have a ripple effect.
Yeah.
So we encourage you to share your own stories of kindness with us.
Yes, please do.
Use the hashtag #HeartbeatKindness and tell us about the acts of kindness you've witnessed.
Or that you've done yourself.
Yeah. Let's keep this ripple effect going.
Absolutely.
And remember, kindness doesn't have to be this grand gesture. It can be something small.
Everyday things.
Like holding the door open for someone.
Exactly.
Giving a genuine compliment, or just lending an ear to a friend who needs to talk.
Those little things matter.
They do. They really do. And it's also important to remember to be kind to ourselves.
Oh, yes. Self-compassion is crucial.
We can't pour from an empty cup.
That's so true.
So be kind to yourself. Practice self-care.
Yeah.
And then extend that kindness outwards.
Beautifully said.
This deep dive into this global tapestry of kindness has been so inspiring.
It really has.
From these little heartwarming acts to these global initiatives, we've seen the power of human connection.
Absolutely.
And the positive impact that even the smallest gestures can have.
It's amazing.
So as we wrap up this episode, we want to leave you with a challenge.
Ooh, I like a challenge.
What act of kindness will you commit to this week?
That's a great question for everyone to think about. Whether it's volunteering your time or donating to a cause or just, being there for a friend.
Yeah, just listen.
Yeah, those little things can make a big difference.
Yeah. And remember to share your stories with us using that hashtag.
Heartbeat kindness.
Heartbeat kindness.
We want to hear how you're spreading kindness.
Yeah, in your little corner of the world.
Exactly. Until next time.
Keep those hearts open.
Yes.
And the kindness flowing.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on this heartwarming journey, everyone.
Yeah, this was a good one.
We'll be back next week with another deep dive into a fascinating topic.
Can't wait.
Until then, Stay curious and keep exploring.
See you then.